moved Herschel Walker from Texas to Georgia so that he could run for Senate, it's because change was taking too fast in the post-antebellum South. The state had been flipped blue, and there are some principalities that were not prepared for a black man and a Jewish man to go to Senate at the exact same time. So they figured that they would delude us by picking somebody who they thought would in fact represent us better with a football than with a degree in philosophy. They thought we were so slow, that we were so stupid, that we would elect the lowest caricature of a stereotypical broken black man as opposed to somebody who is educated and erudite and focused. Y'all ain't ready for me today. Since Herschel Walker was 16 years old, white men been telling him what to do, telling him what school to go to, where to live, where to eat, where to buy a house, where to run, where to sit down, where to sleep, where to pay for abortions, where to buy a gun. And you think they not gonna tell him how to vote? In 2022, we don't need a walker, we need a runner. We need somebody who gonna run and tell the truth about January 6th. We need somebody who gonna run and push for the cancellation of student loan debts. We need somebody who gonna run and make the former president respond to a subpoena. We don't need a walker, we need somebody who will be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding, knowing that your labor is not in vain. Georgia, I need you to know the slave Negroes y'all are used to don't live here no more. We can think for ourselves, function for ourselves, and vote for ourselves.
Hello everyone, it's Queen B, and I'm back to you with another video. This video is an update pertaining to the December 6th Georgia State runoff with incumbent Reverend Raphael Warnock and his challenger Herschel Walker. As previously mentioned, the Georgia Supreme Court allowed counties to hold early voting on Saturday, November 26, 2022, denying state Republicans from blocking early voting. Again, the Georgia Supreme Court allowed counties to hold early voting on Saturday, November 26, after state Republicans, aka Guardians of Putin, were trying to block early voting. As it pertains to the challenger, Herschel Walker, it has been confirmed by numerous outlets that Walker is slated to get a tax break on his $3 million residence in Dallas, potentially running afoul of Texas tax law. Again, Herschel Walker, the challenger, is slated to get a tax break in Texas, running afoul of Texas tax law. It has been confirmed that Walker saved more than $1,200 on his property last year and is planned to save at least $1,500 this year. In part, under Texas law, homeowners can claim a homestead exemption, which exempts a certain amount of a home's value from taxation only on their primary residence. But homeowners may continue to claim the exemption if they do not establish a primary residence elsewhere intended to return to the home and are away less than 2 years, according to the state comptroller's office. Walker bought the house in 2011 and has claimed exemption on his property since 2012. Records show allowing him to pay a lower tax bill in the city of Westlake and Keller independent school districts. School districts make up the bulk of any given Texas homeowner's tax bill. Spokespersons for Walker and the Tarrant County Tax assessor's office did not return requests for comments. Now you will watch this brief clip from CNN, and I will be back with more commentary.
For Georgia Senate candidate Herschel Walker. CNN's K-File reports Walker's getting a $1,500 tax break because he listed a Texas home as his primary residence this year. A local Texas official tells the K-File Walker took that tax break for both 2021 and 2022, that being after launching his Senate bid in Georgia. Walker is the Republican trying to unseat Senator Raphael Warnock in a December 6th runoff election. Our great reporters are back with us. This is not hard. Basic campaign 101, check the tax forms, check your housing forms, check everything else. He's taking a tax deduction on a primary residence in Texas while running for the Senate in Georgia. Bad.
Not good. Not good, folks. In terms of the fact that this happened in 2021 and 2022, after launching his bid, potentially after winning the primary, it just shows sort of the lack of vetting that is in this process on the Republican side in the state of Georgia, in part because former President Donald Trump decided to give Herschel Walker his stamp of approval, and he did not need to be vetted as a result. And voters decided to follow Trump's lead. And now there are a number of Republicans in Georgia who are unhappy with the fact that Herschel Walker is their candidate. He was trailing in the original race, and now we're going to a runoff. And it seems like a lot of the steam is running out of his campaign. Now, we don't know what's going to happen in a couple of weeks when voters vote, but this is not the kind of headline you want to try to motivate voters in Georgia to say that you should represent them. There are already a number of Georgians who say Herschel Walker should not be our representative. The fact that he's claiming a tax break in Texas does not help that at all.
It doesn't have a lot of room for error in that I think there were, 200,000 people who voted for the Republican candidate for Governor Brian Kemp who did not vote for the Republican Senate candidate. So you already have a Republican enthusiasm question. If you're starting to see headlines, the guy who wants to represent you is getting a tax break for a house in Texas, not helpful.
Yeah, I mean, there's, as you guys mentioned, there's a huge enthusiasm gap on the Republican side. I think that's only going to increase now that Democrats for sure have control of the Senate. I mean, adding another Democratic senator would help them in terms of what they're able to do. But I don't think you're going to see many Republicans and independents who didn't vote for Walker the first time who are incentivized to get out there and vote for him this time, right?
Georgia, what more evidence do you need? They literally picked a man from another state, not even from Georgia. They chose a black man from Texas who resides in Texas to try to, quote unquote, unseat a quality senator from Georgia. I could understand if the guardians of Putin had selected a qualified GOP candidate, but instead they found someone with quote unquote celebrity, and he is a willing participant to embarrass the community at all turns. Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock has shown up for Georgia time and time again. One candidate is of quality and the other is of celebrity. Raphael Warnock is literally fighting for democracy, while Herschel Walker can pay for abortions allegedly, but wants to block fellow Americans from getting health care. Now you will watch this brief flashback and I will be back with more commentary.
Do you believe very quickly that Herschel Walker would have any interest in participating in these kinds of investigations if he were the senator, the other senator from Georgia, rather than Senator Warnock?
I have no idea except to say this. The contrast in quality, in competence, in preparedness between Senator Warnock and his opponent is the most dramatic I have ever seen in electoral politics. Senator Warnock is an asset to this nation. He has won universal respect across the aisle in the Senate. He's gotten a lot done for Georgia, forging bipartisan relationships to do it. We cannot lose him. We will not lose him. And that's why we're encouraging Georgians to make a plan to vote.
I don't know how clear this race has to be. We literally have one candidate that is fighting for the betterment of Americans not only at home but abroad, while we have a challenger that speaks of vampires, werewolves, and talking about an E while sitting between sitting senators Raphael Cruz and Lindsey Graham. Now you will watch these two clips and I will be back with my final commentary.
If you can do it.
I'm gonna tell you to keep the faith. Oh, you ever watch a stupid movie late at night hoping it's gonna get better, don't get better, but you keep watching it anyway? Because the other night I was watching this movie. Called Freak Night, or some type of night, but it was about vampires. I don't know if you know vampires are some cool people, are they not? But I'm gonna tell you something that I found out. A werewolf can kill a vampire. Did you know that? I never knew that, so I didn't want to be a vampire anymore. I wanted to be a werewolf. But then anyway, as I'm watching this movie, and then you can tell how stupid it is because it's 1 in the morning. So I'm watching my TV, these kids watching their TV, a vampire kill on their TV. So you know it's kind of stupid, but I'm still watching though. As I'm watching this show, what was funny, these kids had a vampire in their attic at their house. So they was watching their TV. Now I'm watching my TV, as they watching their TV, they see the vampire killer on their TV. So they win this contest to bring this actor. Now, y'all got to stay with me. Bring this actor who's a vampire killer from that TV to get rid of this real-life vampire in their attic. So as this actor comes to their home, he got all the right stuff. He got all the right stuff because, you know, got to have a stake and got to have a thing to kill him in the heart. And he got a necklace of garlic because that worked. I don't know what it does, but it worked. You got to have a cross because it burns. I know that worked. And then all of a sudden, this is what was so funny about it. As they're walking through the house, this guy's got the holy water. He's blessing the house, this actor. Now, he's all fake. He's blessing the house with his holy water. They walked upstairs and this vampire looking real good in this black suit. Whoa, that sounds like Senator Warnock, doesn't it? Looking all good in this black suit, floated from the ceiling. He floated from the ceiling looking good and cool. And I'm thinking, whoa, they better get out of that house. If somebody float from your ceiling, get out of that house. That's not your house. But as he floated from the ceiling, the kid jumped behind their hero. As they jumped behind their hero, the guy jumped in front of him with this holy water, threw it on the vampire's forehead. He covered his eye. Then he took his hand away. He started laughing. And he said, that don't work. He took the cross, he put it on the vampire's forehead. And the vampire didn't even do anything. He said, that don't work. And that's the way it is in our life. It doesn't work unless you got faith. It is time for us to have faith. We got to have faith in our fellow brother. We got to have faith in this country. We got to have faith in the elected officials. And right now, that's the reason I'm here.
This election is more than Herschel Walker. This election is about the people. And I said this. Well, first of all, this election is more than Herschel Walker. This election is about
this election that will continue until December 6, 2022 of this year is critical as Georgia residents deserve the very best. Senator Raphael Warnock of Quality has stood up for Georgia time and time again. This is not the time to change course because of a quote-unquote celebrity. We don't need a walker. We need a runner. Someone who is going to bring quality and dignity to the Senate. I will leave in the comments and description below of voting organizations and hotlines because we deserve the very best. Quality over celebrity. We need a senator who is going to be of the people and not invalidate our choices. And remember, elections have consequences. Elections matter. I thank you for watching. Please be safe out here, and I will see you in the next video.